What's up, everybody? Ed0626 bringing you some more Star Wars Battlefront gameplay, or Star Wars Battlefront 2 gameplay, I should say. Today I'm playing some Starfighter Assault, and it's just great. You know, honestly, the one thing I love about this game is Starfighter Assault, because I hated the flying mechanics when I started playing it in the beta and whatever, but it was I actually got used to them pretty decent pace, and now I'm just pretty good. This gameplay is basically just me going for the objective the whole time. I was mostly the interceptor, or the tri-fighter on the separatist side, and in this period of time here, you're gonna see me just absolutely wreck the other team's cruisers, as well as a couple of their starfighters in this one life. I must have gotten enough battle points to buy me a hero, but the problem was, by the time I had already amassed the amount of battle points I had, I couldn't even buy a hero because there was a max number of heroes in play. So I'm sitting here like, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me, you know? I hate that, honestly. If it's one thing I wish DICE changes, it's the amount of heroes that you can have on the battlefield, because I hate having to have enough credits, finally get enough credits in any game, whether it's Starfighter Assault or what else, Galactic Assault. I'm gonna talk about something else in a couple minutes regarding to, like, you know, Galactic Assault and Galactic Conquest and all that shit, but I'm gonna hold off on that for a few minutes. I just want to talk more about the gameplay. But yeah, in all honesty, the one thing that bothers me is, you know, having all these battle points yet nothing to spend it with. So I hope DICE at some point, you know, even though it might be too late already, but I really do hope that they increase the amount of players you can have as heroes on a team. Because honestly, like I said, I'm sick of finally earning enough battle points. I mean, in this case, the only reason why I got the amount of battle points I did was because I was playing the objective. You know, I was taking out the cruisers. And in all honesty, taking out cruisers, especially on the Ryloth map, if you're the separatist side, is an easy way, and I'm telling you, extremely easy way to get a lot of battle points really quick. And I do recommend using the tri-fighter. I think the rate of fire it has on its laser beams is just superb. And then adding to the middle center gun that they have, it's really good. Anyway, so now we're gonna get into that was like the appetizer. Now we're gonna get into like the meat and potatoes, as I like to say. Galactic Conquest. A lot of people have been asking for this since the game was announced. I think a lot of people were disappointed that the fact that Galactic Conquest was not in the game initially. A lot of people still have hope that the game could still have Conquest. On the other hand, I don't really know if putting Conquest is a good idea right now, because even though DICE has finally fixed the progression system, which took them way too long, I understand it's a very timely process, but they took quite a long time, and it took them until this past May to finally release the second season, which is Han Solo. And I think they're releasing something else later this month, but I don't really know off the top of my head. I haven't seen the Han Solo movie personally, so this really doesn't mean much to me. As a matter of fact, the way they marketed this particular DLC wasn't really that great, but that's a tangent. That's for another story for another time. But no, in all seriousness, I really do believe that if Conquest doesn't come when an eventual Clone Wars DLC drops, I can tell you right now that Conquest is never coming in Star Wars Battlefront 2. And I'll be the first one to tell you right now. I'll be the first one to tell you right now that I think this game is great even without Conquest. Sure, it gets a little repetitive sometimes, but I do enjoy it, you know. It's nice to play a couple different modes and those, like, you know, weekly or monthly games that they have over the weekend that a lot of people find popular. Things like Ewok Hunt, which scared the shit out of me. And that's, let me just quickly say, look how long I've stayed alive at this point, for about 5.5 minutes. And of all the fucking things that kill me, it's a cruiser. A cruiser takes me out. Oh god, it's one thing I hate in this game is AI. AI killing you is the most frustrating thing I ever have experienced in a Star Wars game, in a Star Wars Battlefront game, 1 and 2. But yeah, so back to Conquest. I don't think this game really needs Conquest. Like I said, I enjoy it without it right now. I know a lot of people probably still enjoy this game, whether Conquest is it or not. But yes, I do think Conquest is a very needed addition to the games, the game modes, because I know DICE tried to, and I understand why DICE did this. I understand why DICE added limited game modes in Star Wars Battlefront 2, because in Star Wars Battlefront they had all these game modes that split up the player base. So, and again, that's how I die. Suicide. Suicide is probably the top thing that kills me in Starfighter Assault, just because I thought I passed that piece of whatever that was. I thought I passed that antenna thingy, but once again, apparently I didn't. Apparently I didn't pass it. It's whatever. Yeah. So if I can finally finish my thought. DICE tried to limit the amount of game modes, and like I said, it split up the player base in Star Wars 2015. And it makes sense why they added limited game modes, but I honestly think if they add Conquest, it's kind of just going to be a shit show, you know, because think about it. At this point, if DICE hasn't added Conquest, they are not going to, for the sole reason, because now they have to figure out spawns on the map. They got to figure out where flags are going to be placed, how far you spawn away from flags. It's basically a whole fucking mess. Can some maps even take Conquest mode? That's another question. I'm sure if they do add Conquest mode in the Clone Wars, that's a big if, they'll probably be tailored to that type of game mode. But honestly, I don't think there's many. I know there's a bunch of concepts out there on YouTube. You can go watch them. I've seen quite a few from Star Wars HQ and a few other guys, but I really do think some of the maps are not tailored for Conquest. Just for the fact that they're just so big. For instance, what's that one? Endor is definitely way too big if you're considering the whole map size. Endor is very big for that map. For that type of game mode, unless they add a lot of points. That's another thing. I think one of the things that Battlefield 1, not even Battlefield 4, I mean, Battlefield 1 didn't do so great in was in some of the DLCs where they could have added 1 or 2 more points because the map was big enough. They didn't, and because they didn't really add those points, there were portions of the map that are probably not even traveled by because no one feels the need to run half a mile in no man's land, especially in maps like Passchendaele. I'm specifically talking about Passchendaele. I love that map, but that's the one thing I hate about it, is how the points are placed. Yeah, so like I feel like some maps can have it though. Like for instance, like I said, if Clone Wars does happen, Clone Wars will definitely be tailored for that. Even the Clone Wars maps now are capable of carrying Galactic Conquest. Things like maps like I'm sure Theed can definitely handle Conquest, the outdoor section of Theed, and as well as Kashyyyk and Kamino. If I'm thinking of other maps like Tatooine on the Rebels, the original trilogy side, I'm not sure. You know, I really do think. I'm pretty sure Tatooine will probably be a good map because there's a lot of cover on it, and sometimes I think there's too much clutter. I don't know, but like I said, man, you know, is Conquest Conquest is definitely a welcomed addition to this game. It's a matter of when and how it's going to be done. Because y'all can ask for Conquest, but it doesn't mean that DICE is going to deliver it well. And I have faith in DICE. I really do have faith in DICE. It's just that how they design some of the maps, you have to call into question some of the choices that they might have to make regarding Conquest. Because I can tell you right now, there's definitely some maps that don't need Conquest. And the other thing is just developing. The sheer fact of just developing the maps to work with that type of game mode. And then, like I said, spawns, squads. They still haven't even fixed the squad system yet, you know. How do you expect them to put Conquest mode in if one of the things that they probably should have fixed to begin with was it has not even been fixed, and that's the squad system. That's the one thing that's been bothering me a lot as I get the Scimitar, which, you know, I didn't do so good with Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. I quite frankly, I'm not a huge fan of Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, I'm not gonna lie, but the Scimitar, Darth Maul's ship, either shit or ship, either way, that's my jam. That's probably my favorite hero ship on the Separatist villain side. So that and Kylo Ren's ship is pretty cool too. But yeah, that's that, man. Let me know what you guys, if you guys play this game, let me know what you think in the comments section. You know, did anything I say make sense? Because I know I kind of rambled on about a lot of things. But all I can say is this. How about this? In closing, if Conquest doesn't come with Clone Wars, it's not coming. That's that. And if it does come, how are the maps going to work? Because it's one thing to add Conquest, it's another thing to have the maps work with that game mode. Because we all know the Galactic Assault maps work with Galactic Assault. It's a matter of how those maps interact with other game modes. Like Conquest, pretty much. But yeah, so now with that being said, what do you guys think? You know, I know it's, like I said, it's something that the community has practically begged for. I've never seen every time I watch like a Star Wars HQ related, even Star Wars HQ, other Star Wars Battlefront channels, it's always, when's Conquest coming? When's Conquest coming? DICE, why hasn't Conquest come? They're adding all this stuff that we don't care about, but why not Conquest that we do care about? You know, in all honesty, man, I don't think you guys, as much as DICE has their own faults, I don't think you guys give DICE enough credit, because it took them months to even figure out how to fix the progression system. I'm pretty sure Conquest, and pretty much the one thing that made people hate this game upon arrival, I'm pretty sure Conquest is something that they could hold off on. But at this point, like I said, if Clone Wars doesn't have Conquest, Conquest is never coming, because what the fuck could they possibly add Conquest to, besides probably the most popular, arguably the most popular era in this game is Clone Wars. So why not add it in there? It's a bunch of logic, and it's a bunch of questions that we'll have to have answered later in the summer, because I can guarantee you that these maps are coming probably late August, or mid to late August, or early September. I wouldn't be shocked, I can tell you that much. Anyway, guys, this gameplay has come to an end here. I absolutely shit on this team, and I enjoyed every minute of it. I shit on their players, I shit on their objectives. That's one thing, man. I always say it. If you're gonna play an objective-based game, PT the fuck out, man. PTFO, man. That's what you gotta do. Either you play the fucking objective or you don't play the fucking game. I think a lot of people hate Starfighter Assault for that reason. People don't play the fucking objective. Anyway, with that being said, my name is Ed0626. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think down in the comments section, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a great day.